Hi guys, I'm going to quickly just give you the summary of this video because I know some of you just want to find out which bikes is better without getting all the detail, but if you want the detail, watch the rest of the video. So basically, I recommend getting bikes that are 300 cc's to 500 or 600 for beginners, so that it doesn't matter which brand, but anywhere from 300 to 600 is a good beginner bike. Hi guys, I want to talk about what some of the best bikes for beginners when you're first getting into riding. And before we get into that, I want to highly recommend that you guys take the beginner riding course, because it'll teach you a lot of basics and you'll get a lot of time practicing riding these bikes that they have there. They're all 250 cc's, so they're very light, easy to handle, and you'll get a lot of practice time there. Also, you'll receive a certificate that will give you a chance to go to the DMV and just get your license without having to take the test twice. You would just take it at the end of the course. So I highly recommend you guys do that. It really helped me. A lot of my friends went as well and got the course, and they were glad that they did it. So there's a couple factors that you have to think about, and don't let other people tell you which bike is right for you. You need to go to the dealers and sit on these bikes and see if the weight, if the height of the bike, like you feel comfortable on it or not. Don't let other people tell you what bike is the best for you. That being said, I'm going to recommend some that I started on and the way that I feel now compared to what I did when I first started. So this is how I feel about 250 bikes now, because I did start on a Rebel 250, quickly outgrew that, but it's a great bike to practice on, like in the neighborhood or around like just anywhere where there's not cars, where you're not going on the road, where you can just practice turning, braking, because it's such a lightweight bike. The transmission is very forgiving. There's a lot of things about it that is great, but the issue with it is it's so lightweight that when you go over 60 miles an hour, the wind is just going to throw you around. So that's why I don't actually recommend 250 as a starter bike for actually riding on the streets. It's a good starter bike to practice on, but I would recommend starting at something like Rebel 300, Rebel 500, or a Ninja 300 or 400. It doesn't have to be Kawasaki or Honda. There's, Yamaha makes 300s. And my second bike, by the way, was a 650, which if I was to get one right now, I'd probably get a 400 or a 500. And again, guys, don't get me wrong. Some people, the 650 is a great starter bike for them just because they feel comfortable on it. That's why I'm telling you, you need to go sit on these bikes, even test drive them, at least in the parking lot at first, if you're not comfortable before you take the test. But for me, 650 starter is a little much because it's a heavier bike. It has too much power for a beginner. I just feel like you're going to put yourself in some dangerous situations if you're not careful starting at a 650. So I don't recommend going there unless you just feel that comfortable on the bike. And one last thing, if you are set at getting a 250, I would recommend getting the Kawasaki Ninja 250 because it handles the wind better than the Rebel 250. But keep in mind that your foot placement is going to be different on a sports bike, so that's why, again, you need to sit on them because your feet are going to be in the back and not in the front. On a cruiser bike, your feet are in the front, so you feel like they're closer to the ground, which they actually are, but you feel like you can place your feet a lot easier. In a sports bike, you're in this different position, which some people are not comfortable in. So it depends if you're looking for a cruiser or a sports bike. Like I said, a 250 one for the sports bike is a little bit better for wind and top speed. Also, look up the weights of the bikes that you're looking to buy, like how much they weigh, because if you're like in the 300s, that bike is going to be thrown around. So you want to be closer to at least 400 pounds on a motorcycle for it to handle wind better.